There we go. I suppose this is me going live. May want to turn down that music. Give me one moment. This is me going live. There we go. Hello there. I hope everybody's doing fantastic today. I hope everybody's had a brilliant March so far. Today being March 5th. This is really the start of the month. So I'm hoping everybody's just having a fantastic time. And I hope everybody's doing well. So yeah, what's new? What's happening in your world? I hope it's exciting stuff at least. Here with me, I'm taking a trip down memory lane. I am watching the original V series. And to be very blatantly honest with you, I am loving it. I'm getting in like 2 or 3 episodes on a daily basis. There were only a couple made. So the first part of the series where they introduce the V, that's 2 episodes, and then its final conflict, that's 3 episodes, and then they have like a mini series, which was, I'll tell you now, a stunning 19 episodes, and I just finished episode number 13. So I have a couple left, and then I'll have nothing to watch in V. So obviously that makes me a little bit sad, because it's a trip down memory lane, which is always fun, isn't it? So yeah, that's it. Speaking of trips down memory lane, I've been really thoroughly properly enjoying my YouTube tape collection. Boy October War, Sunday Bloody Sunday. What's it? Live in Red Rocks. What was that album called? Under a Blood Red Sky. Yeah, that's it. And which happens to have, strangely enough, my all-time favorite U2 song, and that would be 11 O'Clock TikTok. I just love that song, and as far as I could tell, I always thought it was on Boy release, but it wasn't. It was apparently released on a single, 11 O'Clock TikTok. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. And then my favorite album of all time, Wide Awake in America. The reason why it's my favorite is because it has memories, and the memories are as follows. So while I lived in South Africa, my friend Mornay, he was a huge, spectacular U2 fan, and he had a mate who we went with to Hillbrow, Johannesburg, and a whole bunch of places to go listen to records. And he had Wide Awake in America, but he left it out in the sun, so the album warped. So the first song on either side you couldn't listen to, which was, I think, don't hold it against me if I'm wrong, please, but I think if I remember correctly, that's Bad and a short, I forget what the first song is on the second side, but hold on, I can check. Why, my goodness. Oh, The Three Sunrises. Okay, So you couldn't listen to the entire album. So it was always fun. That was the one album I never was able to listen to. So I looked for it in South Africa, and so here's the other thing: U2 was banned out of South Africa, Pink Floyd was banned out of South Africa, and I'm busy going through these motions of listening to Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, Delicate Sound of Thunder. What else have I been listening to? But I'm going through these motions of listening to Pink Floyd and their music, and obviously Roger Waters. I was such a big fan. Well, I'm still a huge big fan of Roger Waters. Roger Waters is possibly one of my favorite artists out there. So, but anyways, let's go back to YouTube. Sorry, I'm spreading my branches way ridiculous. But yeah, Wide Awake in America, that was for the reason that I could never listen to the album, my favorite album of U2. So I now have it on CD, record, and tape. so I've got that one covered. I currently have in here, my Walkman, I currently have Rattle and Hum. And then this, The Joshua Tree, was my first album I bought of U2. And I love the entire album. And here's one of the things that I love about when you bought an album in the olden days. You would put the record on or the tape and listen to the entire thing. It wasn't this so let me justify that by taking a step back. So you would make mixtapes, but those were generally or primarily for other people. Like you would make a mixtape for your mates or your girlfriends, or for other people. But yeah, so you would put a record on or a tape and you would listen to it from beginning to end. And like I said in the video I posted at some stage this week, my favorite songs, and there were a lot of them. So Where Streets Have No Name, obviously a brilliant song. I'm not taking anything away from it, but it's just everybody loves it. Everybody loves Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. Everybody loves With or Without You. Like, those are the songs that everybody loves. So when I listened to the album from 1987, while I was living in East London and Johannesburg and so on, the songs that I enjoyed, but properly enjoyed, and not just, it's a song on the radio, but properly enjoyed, were Exit and The Mothers of the Disappearance. And then in one of their books, I can't remember whether it was Brian Eno or who spoke about it, but somebody spoke about the music, and it just drew me in. I remember thinking back then, 1989 probably, somewhere there, I remember thinking I would be a lesser man if I didn't know this. And it just drew me in. It was so powerful. So yeah, I loved it. So this is a brilliant album. And then Rattle and Hum. Like, Rattle and Hum is an album that everybody kind of enjoys. You cannot not enjoy it. How's that? So obviously, it begins fairly basic. Helter Skelter. Van Diemen's Land. I think that was The Edge that sang it. So it's just fantastic. It's lovely. But I have to say, my favorite, all-time favorite song on this album has to be Heartland. I love it. My first song I kind of got drawn into was Angel of Harlem. It was just a fantastic song, just brilliant. So yeah, this was my U2, and then obviously I love my favorite not live album has to be. So let me justify this one as well, just a little bit. So the reason why I love The Unforgettable Fire, and I love The Unforgettable Fire, it's my favorite studio album type thing, was because of the video. If it wasn't for the video, I wouldn't have probably cared for the album, even though it's a brilliant album. MLK, brilliant. Short Coming Home, all of those, they're brilliant. But I think the reason why I love the album more than probably all their other studio albums was purely because of the video, where the caretaker of the castle, where they say, well, he's probably saying, look at what they've done with their bloody rock and roll. It's just, it was a moment that you had to be there. So I love the album. I love the feeling of the album. I love the story behind the telling of the album. And I've got a couple of YouTube, probably 4, possibly 5 VHS cassettes of theirs. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Hold on. Well, there we go. Yeah, Pink Floyd. Yeah. There we go. This here one. This VHS tape is absolutely brilliant. I love this video. I watch it 2-3 times a year. Obviously, Under a Blood Red Sky, brilliant. I wasn't a fan. I'm sorry. The Joshua Tree, the VHS, I didn't connect to it, and definitely I did not connect to Rattle and Hum. I didn't appreciate it. But so a couple of videos back, a couple of weeks back, I told you guys about me finding this. I don't know whether you can remember, but this was like, oh, and this is the Roger Waters one, from Saturday 21st July 1990. Like, how incredible is that? Like, how cool is this? And then obviously, I think this is Delicate Sound of Thunder. So this is the VHS tape of the CD, album, and iTunes that I have for them. So, I mean, this is phenomenal stuff. Pink Floyd has always been one of my favorite bands of all time. It's always been a phenomenal band. I've always loved them. So this is just icing on the cake. This is just brilliant. Yeah. Okay, so that's taking care of this. So I want to talk about the video, I think from last Friday, that I dropped, where I was all nervous about my iPod declaring war on me. So what happened was, I was playing an album and it just died on me. Like it froze, the entire thing froze. And my iPod Classic 5th gen still has a mechanical hard drive in it. So, of course I'm nervous. But the reason why I'm nervous is, now you've seen the video, so you know what that docking station slash the thing looks like that powers it, the docking station. And it's in that cradle 24 hours a day, never leaves it. The only time when I had it leave from one to another was, I used to have like a whole bunch of them throughout the house. And so you would pick the iPod up and walk to another docking station. And that's, you know, if you clean somewhere else in the house, or if you're busy working somewhere else in the house, you can still listen to music. So that to me was something nice. And within the last year, what had happened was, there are 3, and I'm just going to move the camera, so there were 3 that died on me. 1, 2, 3. And I've only got the one left that, I'm sorry for moving that. Let me bend this down just a smidge. There we go, something like that. Yeah, there we go. And so I had 3 of these die on me. So of course I was really nervous, like really nervous. And you guys just left such encouraging messages. Thank you very much for that. But I feel fine. I saw a 7th gen selling for 185, 160 gig. I just have a couple of questions before I buy it, but I'll probably buy it. And then I will definitely buy new parts for my iPod. So I watched this video with this guy replacing the front cover, the back cover. Both needs replacing on my end. Mine is just, I've had it for years. It's completely knackered. I've dropped it many times. That's possibly why the spinning hard drive's not working as intended. But also, when you think about it, it's 20-year-old technology. The fact that it's working is a miracle. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So my thinking was, I can go and get replacement parts for probably around $100. Okay? Get replacing parts. Get replacement parts. Replace what needs to be replaced. Make it look beautiful again. Possibly send 1 or 2 of these in for repairs, to have back in the house to work. And what would be nice about that is, if I have a couple of these working in the house again, then yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? So I had 3 die on me, or possibly go to a couple of thrift stores and see if they don't have some of these just floating around. I was in one on yesterday, yeah. I was in one and I looked for them. I did not find any, so I take it, yeah, there weren't any. But all of this, whoops, the tapes and the record player and the iPod and so on, all of that is to not be reliant on my iPhone, because if you have an iPhone, then even though it's a brilliant piece of tech, it cares less. It could care less whether you're listening to a song. When there's a message coming in, it will interrupt your music experience, and that to me is so annoying. Now, I probably said this in a previous video. If it happens while I'm in the office, by all means, I don't mind that. But if it happens on a Sunday afternoon when I'm listening to Pink Floyd, or when I'm listening to Metallica or Sisters of Mercy, or if I'm listening to U2 or Amon Amarth, or whatever the case may be, The Cure, Susie and the Banshees, when I'm listening to some music, I would hate to have that interruption while I'm listening to a song, because my preference in music is, or my preference in media is not something where you can just click a button and it goes back to the beginning of the song and you listen to the song again. No, my preference is, so you can do it on an iPhone, but my preference is to not be interrupted. And that's why I take the time to go look for these things and find them. So yeah, I've been on eBay. I've been looking for a couple of things. There are a couple of albums I definitely want. I want to own Dark Side of the Moon on record, CD, and tape. And then if I can get something like a VHS tape. So here's the thing with owning VHS tapes. It's not a supported format anymore. So it's something that there's a bit of drama involved to get it to work. So you have to go get your VHS recorder, hook it up to the television, pop the tape in, realize the heads are dirty, take the thing out, put the head cleaner in, clean the VHS machine, and that drama is what makes me probably appreciate it so much. I remember when my kids were young, and I'll never forget this. Back then we still had a ton of CDs. It was before streaming services. When the boys were young, let me rephrase that. So when the boys were young, I'll never ever forget, my records were with my parents, and they were stored there, and I had just gallons of records. I'll never forget, my wife and I, we had CDs. So when we moved to our house with, I think it was Raymond and Zach at that stage. This was prior Leonard being born. But when we moved in there, I'll never forget, I brought my records from my mom's house, and I had a stupid little turntable, dropped a record on it. I'll never forget what Raymond, or I think it was Raymond who said it. He said, "Dad, that's the biggest DVD I've ever seen in my life." And I'll never forget it. It was one of those hilarious, funny moments, because his experience was Dad listens to music on CD and watch DVDs, and when I dropped the record on the turntable, he thought it was a DVD of some sort. So just one of those hilarious moments. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, this is to be honest, a lot of fun in my opinion. I thoroughly enjoy it. Going back to some of the stuff that I'm looking for on eBay, I am looking for Cannibal Corpse. I want to have a couple of CDs of Cannibal Corpse. I used to have some of their music, but I no longer have anything whatsoever. Like I said, I want Dark Side of the Moon record, CD, and tape. And if I can get something on VHS, I'm not going to say no thank you. What else? So Cannibal Corpse, Pink Floyd, and it were a couple of things. Oh my goodness. I've got I've got the introduction. I forget what it was called. I've got it on VHS, and I've got Final Battle on VHS. But I don't have anything from the series, so I'm looking for stuff like that. If I find something, I want to keep it. But yeah, that's really the main talking points that I had. Just going through some of the VHS tapes, the audio tapes, my fear of my iPod crashing and burning, which I'm feeling a lot more comfortable. I must be honest, some of the comments were properly nice. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys about this. So I dropped a video just before I went live. And if you've watched it, thank you so much for it. But funny story. So we did our taxes and we completed everything that we needed to. And I said to my wife and the kids, hey, let's go have breakfast. And they said, well, Dad, it's like 11 o'clock. So that would rather be a brunch. I said, okay, let's go have brunch. We ended up at a place at about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And so we walked in, sat down, and this lovely girl who couldn't understand us and we couldn't understand her started serving us. And she then said, well, hold on, she wants someone else to come help us. So we said, okay, yeah, that's fine. So we got this lovely girl over who helped us, and she was fantastic, just fantastic. Her service was fantastic. She cracked a joke here and there and so on, and it was Leonard, Zach on that side, and then my wife Haven and myself. And so I sat opposite Leonard, but Zach was over there. So him and we were talking, and I noticed that he was, shall we say, a little bit over-friendly when she was there. I love my boys. And and she's an attractive young lady. I mean, nothing wrong with her. Great personality. She's one of those lovely people. And she asked him first what he wanted. He said he wanted a burger. I think he said a barbecue burger. And she said, okay, would you like something with it? And he had this strange look on his face, and he said, like fries? And it cracked me up, because I kind of got what was going on, because he was, I suppose, talking her language, I'm not sure, but he said, like fries? And she said, okay. And I said, hold on, wait. When you say like fries, do you mean like fries? In other words, something other than fries, but it could constitute fries? And she said, but looking at him and talking to him, oh no, honey, I knew exactly what you were saying. I knew you meant French fries. And it just cracked me up. Leonard placed his order, my wife placed her order, and Haven placed her order, and then my order, and we were done. So, but it just cracked me up. And I don't want to say there was any chemistry from her to my little boy, Zachy, but there was definitely chemistry from him directed at her, which was just hilarious, in my opinion. It was one of those properly funny moments, but genuinely moments that you could sit back and appreciate, you know, the little boy for who he was. So, but yeah, that was it. And then this Sunday, dropped the boys off at church this morning, and then Zach went to go visit with his friend, his little friend from school, who recently started working. I spoke to him about starting to look at working as well. You know, I'm still paying for my eldest son's insurance. So I said, my boy, you're going to have to help your dad, you know. So Zach said, yeah, he's going to start looking for a job. I said, that's perfect. So get yourself a job, and then we take it from there. And he thoroughly enjoyed it. He loved it. So he wants to now start driving. I'm actually excited about the little boy driving. If he can pick Haven up, that would be spectacular, I reckon. And yeah, so my little boy is almost out of school. How cool is that? Then it's only Lunard in high school, and Haven in elementary, and yeah, before I know it, I'll be retired, kids out of house, and everything's yeah, easy going. So yeah, but it's definitely fun. Oh yeah, this weekend I had fun yesterday with the kids. Today I watched a couple of episodes. Took the kids to church, the boys to church. Haven, I can't get ready. I'm sorry, I can't do her hair. Like it's not something I can do. So there's no ways I can do it. And my wife, I took her to work this morning. She had to go to work, so it's all good. Nothing wrong. It's one of those things. And then I cleaned over there where I work from. If I work from home, so I cleaned up over there because there were a couple of things on the bed and so on, and I had to clean up. And then the area next to where I'm sitting at the moment, complete disaster. Haven wrecked it, so I haven't touched it. And then this, I moved the desk a little bit further in, and I moved the computer over a little bit. It just felt better that way, so that if my wife wants to come sit here next to me, she can, or if Haven wants to come sit with Dad, you know, she can. Or if I need to help Zach with something, he can come sit with Dad, you know. So yeah, I don't mind doing stuff like that. And then the little office I have where I do a lot of research, and Haven plays games and watch stuff and so on. She was there last night, and I didn't check the state, and that's normally where I record my live streams from, but I didn't check it last night, so she kind of left it as a disaster. So I started cleaning up there, and then this afternoon, after her and we picked my wife up, she was in there again, and just before I went live, I had a look at it and I realized, well, there's no ways I'll be live streaming from here. Like, you know that table that's behind me with the 50 or 55 inch screen on it, the television on it? There are 1,000 things on that table, and they, like, why would you want to touch the screen? Haven, why? So that area looks a bit of a disaster, and I'll clean that up. I'll take care of it. But I'm sitting here and I'm going live from here. It's just better that way. I did finish a couple of things. So I have rotating art that I like to put up, and I finished 3 pieces this morning. When I say this morning, I just dropped them in frames, that's all. So those are finished, and as soon as they're up, I'll show you guys what it looks like. But yeah, I have a couple of projects. You know, finding stuff on eBay. One of their best customers, I probably think, and the pieces of art and the videos and so on. And somewhere in between, we find time to relax, and we find relaxation in these things. Like I said, you know, a lot of people. 2 weeks back Sunday, this guy said, you know, your first 100 subscribers is so much. It's hard work and so on. And I don't think that YouTube's hard work. I find this fun more than anything else, and I think we're at 106 at the moment, 106 subscribers. So if you recently subscribed, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. It's great fun. I love the conversations between people, primarily on the videos. It's always fun. You guys keep it exciting. Thank you very much. There are very little negative comments, even though they are. I don't mind it. The people that comment are just phenomenal in general. Strong community, good community, people that love music and have stories to tell. There's this one person that talk about how they met Sisters of Mercy in 1985, and I love you listening. You know, I love hearing those stories, but I would love to, like, if that person made a video about it, I would love to go watch it. This would be amazing, in my opinion. I think that YouTube give us this brilliant opportunity to tell our stories, and that's really what this is about. A lot of times in my videos, I'll drop little images of when you think about. So, being in your 50s, looking back to when you were in your late teens to early 20s, going to a nightclub on a Friday night and falling in love, dancing to music, and by Sunday you've fallen out of love, and but you've had this amazing experience. When I talk about, like, some of the Sisters of Mercy stuff, you can, when you think back to your late teens, early 20s, when you think back and you remember, like, this was something that played 3 o'clock in the morning. I was there. Yeah, it's 30 years back, but I was there. I was alive. I lived that moment. And that's the kind of stuff I drop into a lot of the videos from time to time. So I'll never forget walking in one of the nightclubs in Johannesburg, walking downstairs. So you would walk in and then downstairs, and then there was like a platform, and then you had to swivel, you know, to your right and then walk further down. The DJ box and dance floor was over here. Oh, bloody hell. And then you would walk there, and I remember through the strobe and the smoke seeing these visions of people dancing, and that imagery is not something you can forget. So when you hear the music, that's what you remember. And even though the music was amazing, it's the memories that make it stand out. It's the memories that give it power. When I say power, I don't mean anything mystical, but that's a driving force behind your memory. And that's possibly why I love Fields of Nephilim and Sisters of Mercy and Metallica and Sepultura and you know, all those Punk Not Dead bands, Dead Kennedys. Oh geez, how many? I forget how many punk bands there were. There were hundreds of punk bands that we used to listen to, and it was fun. It was great. The memories is what drove it. The Clash, like who can forget the Clash? Who can forget Black Sabbath on a Saturday night, drinking a beer, listening to Black Sabbath, and having been drawn into a conversation that's so much greater than just the two of us, you know? Like, that imagery is what makes the music amazing. Iron Maiden, I remember they were in South Africa, in Johannesburg, in 1994, 1995, somewhere there. I forget, 1997, somewhere there, I forget. Somebody will look it up and correct me. But I remember listening to their music and thinking to myself, oh, this is so much softer and slower than what I remember as a teenager. Like, Iron Maiden used to be this band when I was a teenager, like, and here I'm seeing live, I'm watching this, one of my bands, all-time favorite bands, I'm watching them live, and I'm thinking, it's kind of soft and gentle now. And I was in my 20s then. So, and I mean, they were in Greensboro last year at the Coliseum. And I mean, that's 30 years later in my life. So, there are some things that it's not the, yeah, you love the music, but it's the memories behind them that really drive the conversation. And even Iron Maiden, I so appreciated them. I so enjoyed them last year. So yeah, but that's it. Yeah. So if you have a question, please go ahead and feel free to drop me a question. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to have you as part of the community. But yeah, for now I'm gonna call it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. If you want to comment on any other video, please go ahead and do so. My battery after 43 minutes is about to die, so this is where I'll call it, and I'll say thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Now to switch this off on time.